Say good morning to everybody.
Good morning.
I'm going to be reading Mark, the 15th chapter, and also the 16th chapter. And I will be reading out of the Holy Name Bible containing the Holy Name version of the Old and New Testaments, critically compared with ancient authorities and various manuscripts, revised by the late A.B. Traina of the Scripture Research Association. Mark, the 15th chapter. And straightway in the morning the chief priest held a consultation with the elders and scribes and the whole council, and bound Joshua and carried him away and delivered him to Pilate. And Pilate asked him, Art thou the king of the Jews? And he answering said unto him, Thou sayest it. And the chief priest accused him of many things, but he answered nothing. And Pilate asked him again, saying, Answer thou nothing? Behold, how many things they have witnessed against thee. But Joshua yet answered nothing, so that Pilate marveled. Now at that feast he released unto them one prisoner, whomsoever they desired. And there was one named Barabbas, which lay bound with them that had made insurrection with him, who had committed murder in the insurrection. And the multitude, crying aloud, began to desire him to do as he had ever done unto them. But Pilate answered them, saying, Will ye that I release unto you the King of the Jews? For he knew that the chief priest had delivered him for envy. But the chief priest moved the people that he should rather release Barabbas unto them. And Pilate answered and said again unto them, What will ye that I do unto him whom ye call King of the Jews? And they cried out again, Crucify him. Then Pilate said unto them, Why, what evil hath he done? And they cried out more exceedingly, Crucify him. And so Pilate, willing to content the people, released Barabbas unto them, and delivered Joshua, when he had scourged him, to be crucified. And the soldiers led him away into the hall, called a praetorium, and they called together the whole band. And they clothed him with purple, and platted a crown of thorns, and put it about his head. And he began to salute him, Hail, King of the Jews. And they smote him on the head with a reed, and did spit upon him, and bowing their knees worshipped him. And they that mocked him, and took off the purple from him, and put his own clothes on him, and led him out to be crucified, and led him out to crucify him. And they compelled one Simon, a Cyrenian, who passed by, coming out of the country, the father of Alexander and Rufus, to bear his cross. And they bring him up unto the place Golgotha, which is, being interpreted, the place of the skull. And they gave to him drink wine mingled with opiate, but he received it not. And when they had crucified him, they parted his garments, casting lots upon them, what every man should take. And it was the third hour, and they crucified him. And the subscription on his accusation was written over, the King of the Jews. And with him they crucified two thieves, the one on his right hand, and the other on his left. And the scripture was fulfilled, which saith, he was numbered with the transgressors. And they that passed by blasphemed against him, waggling their heads, and saying, thou that destroyest the temple, and builded it in 3 days, save thyself, and come down from the cross. Likewise also the chief priests, mocking, said among themselves with the scribes, He saved others, himself he cannot save. But the Messiah, the King of Israel, descend now from the cross, that we may see and believe. And they that were crucified with him reviled him. And when the 6th hour was come, there was darkness over the whole land unto the 9th hour. And at the 9th hour Joshua cried with a loud voice, saying, Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani, which is being interpreted, Mael, Mael, why hast thou forsaken me? And some of them that stood by, when they heard it, said, Behold, he calleth Elijah. And one ran and filled a sponge full of vinegar, and put it on the reed, and gave him to drink, saying, Let alone, let us see whether Elijah will come down and take him. And Joshua cried with a loud voice and expired. And the veil of the temple was torn in two, from the top to the bottom. And when the centurion which stood over against him saw that he cried out and expired, he said, Truly this man was the Son of the Almighty. There was also women looking on afar off, among whom was Miriam Magdalene, and Miriam the mother of James the Less, and Joseph, and Salome, who also, when he was in Galilee, followed him, and ministered unto him, and many other women which came up with him unto Jerusalem. And now when the even was come, because it was a preparation, that is, the day before the Sabbath, Joseph of Arimathea, an honorable counselor, which also waited for the kingdom of Yahweh, came and went in boldly unto Pilate, and demanded the body of Joshua. And Pilate wondered if he were already dead, and calling unto his centurion, he asked him whether he had been any while dead. And when he knew it of the centurion, he gave the body to Joseph. And he bought fine linen, and took him down, and wrapped him in the linen, and laid him in a sepulchre, which was hewed out of a rock, and rolled a stone unto the door of the sepulchre. And Miriam Magdalene, and Miriam the mother of Joseph, beheld where he was laid. When the Sabbath was past, Miriam Magdalene, and Miriam the mother of James, and Salome, had bought sweet spices, that they might come and anoint him. And verily early in the morning, the first day of the week, they came unto the sepulchre at the rising of the sun. And they said among themselves, Who shall roll us away the stone from the door of the sepulchre? For it was very great. And when they looked, they saw the stone was rolled away. And entering into the sepulchre, they saw a young man sitting on the right side, clothed in long white garment, and they were affrighted. And he said unto them, Be not affrighted. Ye seek Joshua of Nazareth, which was crucified. He is risen. He is not here. Behold, the place where they laid him. But go your way, tell his disciples and Peter that he goeth before you into Galilee. There shall ye see him, as he said unto you. And they went out quickly and fled from the sepulchre, for they trembled and were amazed. Neither said they anything to any man, for they were afraid. And on the first day of which he arose, he appeared first to Miriam Magdalene, from whom he had cast out 7 demons. And she went and told them that had been with him, as they mourned and wept. And they, when they had heard that he was alive, and had been seen of her, believed not. After that he appeared in another form unto 2 of them, as they walked, and went into the country. And they went and told it unto the residue. Neither believed they them. Afterwards he appeared unto the 11, as they sat at dinner, and upbraided them with their unbelief and hardness of heart, because they believed not them which had seen him after he was arisen. And he said unto them, Go ye into all the world, and preach the gospel to every creature. He that believeth and is baptized shall be saved, and he that believeth not shall be damned. And these signs shall follow them that believe. In my name they shall cast out demons. They shall speak with new tongues. They shall take up serpents, and if they drink any deadly thing, it shall not hurt them. They shall lay hands on the sick, and they shall recover. So then, after Joshua had spoken unto them, he was received up into heaven, and sat at the right hand of Yahweh. And they went forth and preached everywhere, Yahweh working with them, and confirming the word with signs following. I just read Mark, the 15th and the 16th chapter.
I have an announcement before we call on the first speaker. The textbooks came in, and if you signed up and ordered a set, they will get distributed after class today, and then later on after that. The cost is $25.14, and this is what they look like. Nice, very nicely binded. Volumes 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So if you signed up and you want to purchase them, come by after class. If you need to get them later on, they'll be here for you. So our speaker, let me see.
About the books, there's also a hardcover available. I have a contact in Chicago, and it's all 4 volumes in one book with a hardcover, and that's available for $50. He tells me he still has more of those available.
Everybody heard that? Okay.
If anybody's interested, let me know.
Okay. Our speaker will be our dean, Dr. Fred Allen Jr.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm indeed glad and happy to be standing before you once again to testify of this great gospel that Yahweh has allowed us to be to receive and to know. This being Easter, I wanted to try to take the time to try to go into the subject of Easter and the resurrection of the Messiah. There's been so many things being said. I've heard on the radio, TV, and read in books and magazines. So much uncertainty of Messiah's resurrection and even of his death. But at the same time, I thought we ought to have an understanding of it and hopefully go away with a better appreciation of what the Messiah did for us. First, I think I want to talk about something. Ramona spoke Friday night, very nice lecture, and she mentioned about something that is recorded in this book I have here. I want to just have it read so you can get just a kind of just a glimpse at the odds of the things happening with the Messiah. They're going to list them. They're going to list. Well, let's just read the article and then we'll go from there.
This is the American Bible Society presents Inside the Mysteries of the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
No dates on here, but
This is what the portion on this side here, on this page here. This here, that's all I want, right here.
okay. And it says, what are the chances that one man could fulfill even 8 of the prophecies of the Messiah?
I said, what is the chances of one man fulfilling 8 of the prophecies of this one man? Okay.
Said in 1969, a mathematician named Peter W. Stoner gave his students 8 prophecies that were fulfilled by Christ, and asked the students to figure the probability of their all being fulfilled. The prophecies he chose stated that the Messiah would 1. Be born in Bethlehem. 2. Be preceded by a messenger. 3. Ride on a donkey. 4. Be betrayed by a friend. 5. Be betrayed for 30 pieces of silver. 6. Be betrayed for money used to purchase the potter's field. 7. Be silent as a lamb. 8. Have his hands and feet pierced. The class came up with a whopping number. The combined probability of one person fulfilling 8 of the Old Testament prophecies would be 1 chance in 1017 squared. Yes, that's a 1 followed by 17 zeros. And since the initial finding by Stoner's students, his grandson Don had updated the number to 10 to the 18 squared, since the world's population is now larger.
And that was in 1969.
1969.
So the number, so the odds have become greater since that time. So you picture this here, put 17 zeros after that, that give you how many, what's the chance of one man fulfilling just those 8? And there's a whole lot more that can be done, added to it, which makes it probably goes even down, so the number becomes longer and longer as you add more possibilities that could have happened, could be done.
More prophecies fulfilled.
Yeah. So if you have more things, being born of a virgin, being, being coming from Bethlehem, all those type of things.
So they're saying one man could not fulfill.
What was the probability of one man fulfilling all 8 of them?
Mhm.
Just all 8
Just
of them.
8 of them.
That's the probability of it.
So they don't believe that the Messiah fulfilled.
They're not saying that. They're saying for one man to do that, the chances of that happening is 1 or is 10 to the 17 power.
They're just emphasizing the magnitude of the awesomeness
Okay.
of him doing that.
Mhm.
Okay. Next, out of the Dake's Bible, Charles got a copy of the Dake's Bible. And when you go, Tony, could you get
Michelle?
Michelle, you can read this too. Will you want to read that? Okay, I'll have you read this then. Get Acts 12:1.
Mm-hmm.
Now what I'm doing is I'm trying to give you an overview of some things that's being said, as well as to have a better understanding of what Easter came to be and that type of thing, and then what really happened. Okay.
Acts first?
Actually, Acts 12:1. Now this what we have here is a confirmation. 10 years after the Messiah's death, burial, and resurrection with the apostle Peter. Okay, now we.
Acts 12:1.
Mm-hmm.
Now about that time Herod the king stretched forth his hands to vex certain of the church.
Mm-hmm.
And he killed James, the brother of John, with a sword. And because he saw it pleased the Jews, he proceeded further to take Peter also. Then were the days of unleavened bread.
Mm-hmm.
And when he had apprehended him, he put him in prison and delivered him to 4 quaternions of soldiers to keep him, intending after Easter to bring him forth to the people.
Now it says intending after Easter to bring that. Now in the Dake's Bible, they got a reference there about Easter. So I'm going to read what it says about Easter now.
Okay. This is unfortunate and absurd translation. Well,
You start up above. It says Pascal, isn't it?
no, he said just
Okay.
repeat.
Oh, okay.
We're starting above it.
Yeah. Okay, as Easter was a pagan festival observed long before Christ.
A pagan festival observed long before the Messiah. Okay, read on.
It is not a Christian name, but it is derived from Esther,
Mhm.
one of the Babylonian titles of an idol goddess, the Queen of Heaven.
Mm-hmm.
The Saxon goddess Estre is the same as the
Yes, so.
Astarte, the Syrian Venus, called a Shtoreth in the OT.
Ashtoreth.
Uh-huh.
Ashtoreth in the Old Testament.
In the Old Testament. It was worship of this woman by Israel
Mhm.
that was such an abomination to God.
Then you go back in the scripture, you find that the Jews did worship this God at one time. Okay, read on.
Round cakes
Round cakes.
imprinted with the sign of the cross were made
Mm-hmm.
at this festival, the sign being in the Babylonian mysteries a sign of life.
Mm-hmm.
Easter eggs, which play a great part in this day's celebration, were common in all heathen nations.
No, he didn't. Mm-hmm.
The fable of the egg declares that an egg of an wondrous
A large egg or wondrous size
fell
read,
from heaven
fell from heaven
into the river Euphrates.
into the river Euphrates.
The fish rolled
The fish pushed the egg
to the bank,
to the bank.
where doves settled
And
upon
doves went and
it
sat on top of the egg.
and hatched
and
it,
hatched this big egg, read,
and out came Astarte,
and out came Astarte,
or Istar, the goddess of Easter.
the goddess of Easter. Now that's where it all started with this is a concept they had, and as they dealt with it. So you see that we start off with a day that's being reserved as a pagan worship holiday. And as common that the Christian world will always try to depth when they go into a country and they want to win the people, they try to find out their worship and then try to incorporate it with their religion to gain their hearts, that they might be fellow believers of the same thing at the time. Converts at the same time. So that's where when a nation goes in and conquers a country, they want to keep the people settled down, so they always incorporate some of their religious belief so that the people will follow them, will stay there and not run off. See? So they have that kind of concept. Okay. Now, seeing all that come to pass, now, I had to put the reader through all this, reading this, the 15th and 16th chapter of Mark, but it's a real good overview, condensed, compared to the other chapters you had to read to get the same information. But I wanted to give you at least I know you read that, or heard that part read. Let's put it that way. Now, last time I tried to give you an assignment, and sometimes you do it, sometimes you don't. So I said I won't give anybody no assignment, just let you come on down and hear it for yourself. So what I'm saying that for is that the resurrection of the Messiah accomplished many things. It did not give you or did not present mankind with the Holy Spirit, but it was a start to get the man to believe in life after death. And when you look at all the men and women that died before this time, before the Messiah died, they didn't have any hope of a resurrection or living beyond the normal lifespan. But now, in that the Messiah raised from the dead, and then gave mankind hope of life after death. So now here we are now, and we take the scriptures that we talked about in the Mark the 15th chapter, and it talks about as they've taken the Messiah captive, and they were taken into the council, and the council was trying to bring up accusations against him, and they tried to get him to talk. He wouldn't talk. Now, when you go into Scripture, you find out that it was prophesied that he wouldn't do that. See? Isaiah 53:7. Psalms 38:13. Psalms 39:3 and 9. I'm trying to confirm why he didn't say anything for his own defense, even though he was innocent. He didn't respond to the accusation that was brought against him. Okay.
Isaiah 53:7.
Mm-hmm.
He was oppressed.
He was oppressed.
And he was afflicted.
He was afflicted.
Yet he opened not his mouth.
Yet he opened not his mouth. See? Okay. Psalms 78:13, and then 29:3 and 9.
Psalms 78 and 13.
No, 38.
38.
But I, as a deaf man, heard not.
Heard not.
And I was as a dumb man.
And I was as a dumb man.
That openeth not his mouth.
That opened not his mouth. That's why the Messiah, he couldn't say nothing for his own defense. You know, The prophecy was that he was like a lamb. The lamb doesn't squeal and holler when he's going to get ready to die. Most animals do, or they confront you or try to kill you. Okay. Now this is confirming in the 39th chapter. 39, take 39, let's read for 39, 1 down.
Psalms 39 and 1.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I will take heed to my ways, that I sin not with my tongue.
Now he didn't want to sin with his tongue, read.
I will keep my mouth with a bridle, while the wicked is before me.
Now you see that they took counsel against him, so there's a whole bunch of them against him. Okay, read.
I was dumb with silence.
I was dumb with silence.
I held my peace.
I held my peace.
Even from good.
Even from good.
And my sorrow was stirred.
9th verse.
9th verse. I was dumb.
I was dumb.
I opened not my mouth.
I opened not my mouth.
Because thou didst it.
I'm going to also get Leviticus 10, 1. I think it was 2 or 3. But let's try to set the case so you can see what happens here.
Leviticus
10 and 3.
10 and
10 and 1.
10 and 1.
Mm-hmm.
And Nadab and Abihu.
Nadab and Abihu. There's 2 sons of Aaron. The ones who went up in the mountain saw Elohim.
The sons of Aaron took either of them his censer.
Took their censer.
And put fire therein. And put incense thereon. And offered strange fire before Yahweh.
Offered strange fire. In other words, they took incense of their own making to offer before Yahweh. Now, Yahweh already specified not to offer up anything different than what he specified for them to offer up. So now here's 2 sons that's going against that. Okay, read.
Which he commanded them not.
Mm-hmm.
And there went out fire from Yahweh.
They went out far from Yahweh.
And devoured them.
And devoured them.
And they died before Yahweh.
They died before Yahweh. Read on.
Then Moses said unto Aaron.
Now this is the father of the 2 sons. Moses said unto Aaron, read.
This is it that Yahweh spake.
This is it what Yahweh spake.
Saying, I will be sanctified.
I will be sanctified.
In them that come nigh me.
Now remember, they're supposed to be the priesthood tribe. They're supposed to be the ones that go before Yahweh. And he already gave them a commandment, don't make any or burn any incense that is different than what I specified to be offered up. Now they did that. So he wants the Jews to realize he wanted to be sanctified. He wanted to be obedient. See? And 2 sons now did wrong. Okay, read on. And
before all the people I will be glorified. And Aaron held his peace. Aaron held his peace. Now, that's his own 2 sons. He could have said, those are my 2 sons. What do you mean I hold my peace? See? But he held his peace. See, now what we're seeing is Yahweh. He will be glorified. Now we're in perilous times today. And the world does not understand what's going on. Things are all happening all around us. We got all kinds of things happening. The weather's altogether different, and all kinds of things you got happening with the weather. You got tornadoes, hurricanes, all these type of things that happen. These are signs of Yahweh really displeased with mankind. I would say it that way. Okay? So now, you see why he didn't open his mouth, because it's prophesied and he wouldn't do it. And he didn't do it. And you read there in that 15th chapter there about how the Messiah was treated. He was crucified. He was spit on. He was beaten. They crucified. Now I get down there. What verse I want to get? See, the thing about it, I better go back and get this first. The Messiah had told the Jews when he entered into his ministry. See, this is John 2 and 19.
So they bring it up in the 15th chapter, they bring it up as accusation against him.
Right.
See? He that destroyed the temple and rebuilt it again in 3 days. Mocking him, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Not knowing that's what's getting ready to happen.
Right.
Because he's talking about his own body.
Mm.
See? But read on.
John 2:19.
Mm-hmm.
Joshua answered and said unto them, Destroy this temple, and in 3 days I will raise it up.
Okay, could you go back and find out what the question they asked him?
Mm-hmm.
Just to get the, I don't want to.
18.
Okay.
Then answered the Jews and said unto him, What sign showest thou unto us?
Remember, the Jews are always looking for a sign.
Mm-hmm.
See? They asked him when he's on the cross, get down on the cross, so we know we believe if you get down off the cross. They ain't going to believe, but they say that. See? So they're looking for a sign. Okay, read on.
What sign showest thou us,
Mhm.
seeing that thou doest these things?
Right?
Joshua answered and said unto
And
them,
this is his answer, and this is his reply. Read.
Destroy this temple.
Destroy this temple. Now, remember, now get the picture of what's going on. Here he's standing on the porch of the temple, Herodias temple that's being in the process of being built. And he said, destroy this temple.
And in 3 days I will rise it up.
And in 3
or
days
raise it
I will
up.
raise it up again. Now read on and get so you see where they're.
Then said the Jews,
Then said the Jews.
46 years
Now
was
they
this,
calculated 46 years
was this temple in
was
building,
this temple in building.
and wilt thou rear it up in 3 days?
Now the Messiah started his ministry when he was 30 years old. So I mean they started on the temple 16 years before he was born.
Right.
So now he said 46 years have they been in the building. See? Okay.
But
Yeah.
he spake of the temple of his body.
But he was talking about this temple of his body. Okay, read.
But when therefore he was risen from the dead,
Now this is John writing. So wherefore after he was risen from the dead,
his disciples remembered
then they remembered
that he had said unto them,
what he said unto them.
and they believed the scripture
And they believed the scripture
and the word which Joshua had said.
and the words which Joshua said. So you're able to see now, he's telling them up front what's going to happen. They wanted a sign. And you see down here, 3 years later, they still remember what he said. See? But still, they don't believe it. Okay? Matthew. Now, I didn't want to go, Matthew 12, 28, 29.
Matthew 12 and 28.
Mm-hmm.
But if I cast out demons by the Spirit of Yahweh, then the kingdom of Yahweh is come unto you.
Mm-hmm.
Or else, how can one...
So maybe it's 38 and 39.
Yeah, 38 and 39.
Okay, 38 and 39.
Okay, Matthew 12 and 38.
Mm-hmm.
Then certain of the scribes and of the Pharisees
Now these are the
answered,
leaders of Israel, the scribes and the Pharisees.
Right.
Read.
answered, saying, Rabbi,
we
would see a sign
want
from
to
thee.
see a sign from thee. What sign are you going to give us? Read.
But he answered and said unto
Mm-hmm.
them, An evil and adulterous generation.
Now what he do? He just got to call them an evil and adulterous generation.
Yep.
Seeketh after a sign.
Mm-hmm.
See? Read.
And there shall no sign be given
Then
to
I'm not going to
it,
give you no sign,
but the sign of the prophet Jonah.
but the sign of the prophet Jonah. Okay? Read.
For as Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights in the fish's belly,
Mm-hmm.
so shall the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth.
So now we've seen that both signs that he's given them is dealing with 3 days and 3 nights.
Mm-hmm.
See? So you see now that he's on the carpet to fulfill those things. Those said these are the signs that are going to be given. Now when the signs come to pass, do you still believe? You see, man didn't believe. But you get the picture of what's going on. So I'm bringing that up so you see that they were seeking for a sign they were looking for. And look, they were looking for him too. See? They were looking for the Messiah. They were looking for that prophet. They were looking for what the scripture has said would come to pass, so they'd be able to identify the Messiah. Now the book is loaded. Now remember we had 8 of the things that was being prophesied that was going to come to pass, and then had the Messiah to fulfill them. Now you see what They know that it's in the scriptures. They know the prophecies are there, but they still missed him. See? So I'm saying that so you can get the picture of what's happening here now. So now here's the Messiah now. See? Now at a certain point in time, he's got to get on the cross. So he's got to say something. He's got to do something to get him to provoke them to get him on the cross at the right time. See? So here he is. That's got to happen. See? So here we have the Messiah. You have this in the third. I'm not going to have you read this. This is in the 23rd chapter of Matthew, where the Messiah is accusing the scribes and the Pharisees, calling them a generation of vipers, and also he's telling them how bad they were. See? And this is making them mad. It's getting them hot. See? Well, why is this happening then? See? Exodus 21, 31, I believe it is, 30.
Exodus 21 and
30, 31, where man's servant be girded by.
Right. Oh yeah, okay. 28. If an ox gore a man or a woman,
Now it says, if an ox gored a man or a woman,
that they die,
and they die,
then the ox shall surely be stoned,
then the ox was supposed to be stoned,
and his flesh shall not be eaten.
and the flesh should not be eaten.
But the owner of the ox shall be
But now the
quick.
owner of the ox,
Shall be quick. But if the ox were wont to push with his horn in
now the
times
ox
past,
was to push with his horn
in times past,
in times past. If he done it in the past,
right,
did it
And-
again, read.
and had been testified to his owner, and he had not kept him in, but that he had killed a man or a woman, the ox shall be stoned, and his owner also shall be put to death. If there be laid on him a sum of money, then he shall give for the ransom of his life whatsoever is laid upon him. Whether he have gored a son or have gored a daughter, according to this judgment shall it be done unto him. If the ox shall push a manservant or a maidservant, he shall give unto their master 30 shekels of silver,
That's what I wanted was that.
and the ox shall be stoned.
And then the ox is supposed to be stoned. Now the Messiah was an ox. He's going to offer himself up for mankind's sin. So when he was accusing these Pharisees and the scribes, he was goading them. He was prodding them to the point where they got to say, we got to get rid of him. Like the scripture said, they were envious of the Messiah. Consider the Pharisees and scribes. Here they got a temple, and thousands of people following the Messiah. When the Messiah goes out and he has 5,000 following him, and they're upset with him. Why are all these people following this man here from the first place? And they've been interrogated, and they've been asking questions, and they still don't know who he was. But you see now when the Messiah comes on, here he is being accused of, and he's now goading them, and they're going to get ready to put him on the cross. So when they put him on, that's when this council came up to find out what can we do to get rid of this man, this Yahshua. That's what they're trying to do, get rid of him. See? So you see now when they did that. So that means that when the leaders of Israel came together, they were trying to find out how we can put this man to death. See? And you find that recorded, I think it's in the 27th chapter of Matthew, where the leaders had come together and they're trying to find how to, we put out a request to find out how we can catch a man in his own craft, how we get our hands on him. See? And they were also cautious because they didn't want to do it in front of the public because they knew the people thought he was a prophet. And they didn't want to have anything obviously come up, so they wanted to get somebody to come forth and they're going to be able to do this. So you find that Judas stepped forward. And he came and he told them that he would bring them to the Messiah, bring it to them. And so they sent out when the Messiah in the Passover now, See? Now, I haven't had much success in trying to do this in a way everybody can see it and understand it real plain. But you have the Messiah eating the Passover with his disciples. I'm going to try something. This is something I'm going to try. Now the Jews, when the Messiah told them as it was in the days of Noah, so shall be in the end of the age. And so as it was in the days of Jonah, he's going to be in the heart of earth 3 days and 3 nights. Now the religious leaders, they're trying to calculate the 3 days and 3 nights. So they know there's 12 hours in 12 hours in the day, 12 hours in the night, making 24 hours, making them 1 day. So they're going to look at 24. They're going to look at 3 times 24 to establish the 3 days and 3 nights. That's the way they're looking at it. You have the Seventh-day Adventists. They came up one time and they said no, he was crucified on Thursday and rose Saturday afternoon. Saturday afternoon. Well, if we look at that, when have you seen the sun raised in the afternoon? You haven't ever seen that happen, have you? So you know that's wrong, because remember the sun is a type of a figure of him, so he got to go the same way written of him. So if we have that, you have here 24 hours. This is night. This is night. This is night. This is daylight, daylight. So I'm just trying to establish something so you can see what I'm trying to get at. The way they're looking at time, they're going to miss the mark. They're looking for 72 hours, right? So, if you have the Jewish time starts in the afternoon at 6 p.m. The night begins to the following p.m. That's 1 day with them. So we look at this time frame. Now, if he's having the Passover with his disciples that night, see, they eat the Passover, and they go out, and they go out to the Garden of Gethsemane. Now they go out to the Garden of Gethsemane. You might question why do they go to the Garden of Gethsemane, but we was out there in the garden because back here in the garden, remember, Satan came and deceived the woman in the garden, Gethsemane. So here's the Messiah. He's out there in the garden. And Judas, he's coming to expose him, to try to get him to be taken to the king government. So now here he is, and so they keep the Passover, and you read on later on, you find out after the Passover, they left and went to the Mount of Olives. This is the 18th chapter of John, and people follow along. And they were up late, and you find the disciples, they were sleepy and tired. So you know it's late, early in the morning. And you read on down to where the soldiers came and took him by night, and took him up to be interrogated by Herod and by Pontius Pilate. And they give a commandment for him to have him crucified. That's when he's going to be put to death. See? Now you read in the 15th chapter at the 9th hour. So I'm just going down this basically to try to show you the Messiah's got to go. He's got to fulfill this 3 days and 3 nights. And I'm just trying to illustrate a way you can see this thing. So that morning, you have them taking the Messiah, and you have at 9 o'clock. Third hour of the day. I think it's mentioned there in about the 9th verse, the 15th chapter. There, somewhere you read about the ninth hour, third hour of the day. Third hour of the day, he was crucified. So that would be at 9 o'clock. And now at 12 o'clock, or the third hour, which will be this, I do it this way. It's better for you to understand what's going on. Try to make it the way when you're going to read in the scriptures. The third hour of the day. Then you got the 12 hour, the 6 hour of the day. 12, keep on saying 12. You got the 12 hour of the day, and then you got, I keep putting the same thing down. I got 12 on mine, the 6 hour, and then the 12 hour. Wow. This, I had planned to draw this out, so I make sure I had it in my mind right. So this is a day from 6 in the morning to 3. There's 3 hours a day, 3 hours, 6 hour, 9th hour, and then the 12th hour. That's going to be one day. This is going to be completing that one day. So now what I'm trying to establish is, he's put on the cross in the third hour of the day. Then at 6 hour, it turns dark to the 9th hour. So it's dark during this period of time. From the 6th to the 9th hour. See? So now, we follow this is his daytime. Now we're going to find out about this particular day because we ought to understand what's happening with the Messiah. What's causing this day to be so phenomenal? See? Give me Amos 8 and 9. Give me Zechariah 14 and I think it's 6. I think it's 6 and 7. 6.
Amos 8 and 9.
Mm-hmm.
And it shall come to pass in that day.
Now this is Amos talking about this is going to happen. In that day it's going to come to pass, read.
Saith Yahweh.
Say Yahweh.
That I will cause the sun to go down at noon.
I'm going to cause, see, that's a 6 hour of the day, that's a noon. Read.
And I will darken the earth in the clear day.
In the clear day. That's the prophecy. Okay, it's going to darken the earth in the clear day. Okay. Now you're Zechariah.
Zechariah 14 and 6.
Mm-hmm.
And it shall come to pass in that day.
In that day, we're talking about that day.
That the light shall not be clear.
The night shall not be clear.
Nor dark.
Nor dark.
But it shall be one day.
It shall be one day.
Which shall be known to Yahweh.
Now see, that's a critical point. It's going to be known unto Yahweh.
Not day.
Not day.
Nor night.
Nor night.
But it shall come to pass.
But it shall come to pass.
That at evening time.
That at evening time.
It shall be light.
So it's going to be, see, at 6 o'clock, at 3 o'clock, it's going to be light till 6 p.m. So it's going to be light again. Okay? So now, we got to understand now. It said this was Yahweh now. Yahweh is the one that's declaring this. So it had to be on his time schedule. That's where the problem with mankind trying to calculate it messed up. But Yahweh, knowing who he was, and he can be able to appreciate this. So here we have to understand that this Yahweh that created the heaven and earth, here he was being manifested in this body, Yahshua Messiah. So if you have Yahweh Elohim manifested in his body, then we have to understand what Yahweh Elohim said. See? Genesis 1 and 5 and 1 and one.
Genesis 1 and 5. And Elohim called.
Yeah.
I guess go back to 3. I told him
Yes,
5
yeah,
sounds like too far.
3.
5 was too far down.
Yeah.
1 and 3. Okay.
And Elohim said, let there be light, and there was light.
Now this is Elohim saying, let there be light. And there was light. Read.
And Elohim saw that the light was good.
Now it was Elohim that said the light was good. Read.
And Elohim divided between the light and between darkness.
And Elohim divided between the light and between darkness. Read.
And Elohim called the light day.
Now Elohim, he's calling the light day.
And the darkness he called night.
And the darkness he's calling night. So with Yahweh, Elohim, light is day and darkness is night.
Right.
So now a night and a light, a light and darkness makes a day. Wow.
Right.
With Yahweh. So we got, now what I'm saying that's with Yahweh. Now here's Paul, he's testified that Yahweh was in Yahshua the Messiah. So we got Yahweh in Yahshua. So when he was on the cross, that was Yahweh in the body. So what's light and darkness to him is what you got to go by. So when he's put on the cross at third hour of the day, at the 6th hour, it turns dark. See? So you got light, darkness, you got light. Now this is one day, this light and dark, that's one day. Then you got light, then you got this darkness here. So that becomes 2 days. So here to here is one day. From here, the light there, darkness. See? Then as it begins to do this here, see that's light and darkness here. So this is another day. So this is one day. Second day. See? Now, on this, this would be Saturday morning. That'll be one day there. Then during that night, he's going to rise very early against the first day of the week. But see, it's light with him now. So now, when I say with him now, did you know when you read the scriptures, when did Mary and go to the sepulchre? It said very early in the morning, right? When they went there, how did they find the sepulchre? Was the stone still there, or was it moved? It had been moved, so the Messiah had already resurrected before they get there. So if that's true, if you follow what I'm saying about it, see, then you can see then, very early, in other words, before daybreak, he had already raised from the dead. But we got something else got to take into account with that. See? Give me Matthew 28:1.
So you're saying it was 2 days and 2 nights and Friday?
Yeah. We have one day, then this day and this part of this night, that's going to be the second day, the Saturday night, making up the second day. And then you got daylight on Saturday till night. That's going to be another day. And then during the night, he's going to raise on the third hour of the day. So right between here and here, you got 3 days. Huh? 48-hour period? Well, yeah, about that, yeah. See, so you can't go by 24-hour days. You got to go by time with Yahweh. When he's on the cross, it's light. Still on the cross, it turns dark from the 6th to the 9th hour. See, when he's taken off the cross, now we also got to put this in mind. The body that he's in is a grave.
Right.
So he's already in the grave. See, on the cross, see. So the first day, he's there. Second day. Then the third day, he's going to raise from the dead. He's going to raise early. So I'm trying to establish that he's raising early before daybreak. See? Now, you got people who went out today. Went out there climbing mountains and going up the rise to see the sun rise. What happened to you yesterday? It happened yesterday, too. How come you didn't go out yesterday? Or the day before? It did the same thing every day, but now this is some special day. We got to go out and watch the sunrise. When you get out there and look at it, when you see the sunrise, it's already risen. It takes 8 minutes for the light from the sun to get to the earth plane. So when you first see the the sun's already been up. So they're gonna miss. They missed him. They're gonna miss him. So they get this time already messed up here. So we're not seeing that this light. Not seeing now the sun. See, 2,300 miles, 23,000 miles from the earth. 93 million miles. 93 million miles from the earth. The earth. I'm having so much time. Now,
Over here.
that's saying that the sun, this represents the sun, light from the sun travel to the earth, 93 million miles away. Light travels 186,000 miles per second.
Right.
You divide that into that, and you see that it takes about 8 minutes plus some change to get the time it takes from the light to come to the earth. So the sun's already risen by the time you see the sun. See, so it's a lost cause. You just have to realize he's already. But now we look at this time with the Messiah now. See, what I'm trying to get to with the Messiah is that, remember, we're showing the time that they come to see the Messiah. When they come to see him, see, it dawned, and one book says, at the beginning of the rising of the sun. See? Well, here's what Matthew says about it. Give Matthew the 28th chapter.
Matthew 28:1.
Uh-huh.
In the end of the Sabbath, as it began to dawn toward the first day of the week,
As it began to dawn toward the first, this would be the first day of the week. Read.
came Mary Magdalene
Came Mary Magdalene.
and the other Mary to see the sepulchre.
Uh-huh.
And behold, there was a great earthquake,
There's a great earthquake.
for the angel of Yahweh descended from heaven,
Mm-hmm.
and came and rolled back the stone from the door,
Mm-hmm.
and sat upon it.
Now, what said the angel came
Mm-hmm.
and rolled the stone away, and then sat upon it. Read.
His countenance was like lightning,
The angel's countenance, or the light that emanated from him.
and his raiment white as snow.
So when that angel came down, it lit up the whole place. In other words, it made it daylight. So he's raising up very early in the morning, even before the regular daylight comes. He's already risen. So you see that he's risen when the angel appeared there. See?
John 20 chapter.
Now get to Revelation 20,
Right.
20 and 1. And yeah, I'm just trying to pinpoint the time he's got to come up out of there. See, all this is a part of this Messiah raising from the dead. He's accomplished all these things in the self same day. See, now what is the Messiah doing?
Yeah.
He's got to go back. Well, let me do it this way. What do I have you with now? I got you with
Revelations.
Revelations.
No, I just read Matthew.
Okay, don't read Revelation just yet. I want to go back to when the Messiah, the 19th chapter of John, the 18, 17, about 14, 15 verses, somewhere up there, start down. I want to get Messiah before he gave up the ghost.
13.
He's on the cross.
John 19 and 13. When Pilate therefore heard that saying, he brought Yahshua forth and sat down in the judgment seat in the place which is called the pavement, but in the Hebrew Gabbatha. And it was a preparation of the Passover, and about the 6th hour. And he saith unto the Jews, Behold your king. But they cried out, Away with him,
Mm-hmm.
crucify him.
Mm-hmm.
Pilate said unto them, Shall I crucify your king? The chief priests answered, We have no king but Caesar. Then delivered he him before unto them to be crucified.
You're going to give him to be crucified. Read.
And they took Yahshua and led him away.
Mm-hmm.
And he bearing his cross went forth into a place called the place of the skull,
Mm-hmm.
which is called the Hebrew Golgotha.
Now, why is he going to the place of skull? See, everything that comes up is so important to understand what the significance of why the Messiah is dying. See, I'm talking about why he's dying, what he died for. How does it benefit you and me? What importance is it to you and me today? See, well, we're looking back here. See, with this man back here, when he disobeyed the commandment, he died in his conscience or his skull. When he died, or he became condemned. So here's the Messiah. When he's crucified in the Mount Golgotha, which is the place of the skull. See, I remember Dr. Mixon when he went to Israel. He said that the place that they had denoted for the Messiah's death taking place was not the site that it should have been. They said a little ways over was another mountain or rock stone there was in the shape of a skull. So they had mismarked the place where he was crucified at. And when they take him on the tours, like they do in the day over there in Jerusalem, see, yeah.
What is Calvary? I mean, is that the mountain where the crosses?
Yeah.
And Golgotha was on Calvary, or because they always refer to Calvary as the Messiah. I'm talking about Christianity.
Yeah.
But Calvary was that's an interpretation, right? I mean,
I think it is. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know much about the derivative of Calvary, but pretty much that's what it is. It's dealing with the same mountain, or Mount Moriah. I mean, Golgotha.
But it has to be it's Mount Moriah too. I mean, it's something else.
Yeah. Well.
So those are all on the same location.
It could be the same. It could be used. I haven't looked that up to see if the same term was used for both places or not. I don't know.
Because it has to be Mount Moriah because that's where Isaac was offered up.
Oh yeah, that's where the mountain was. That's where, well.
According to the dictionary.
Mountain. Okay, where the Messiah was mountain, where the Messiah, he was not offered up on Mount Moriah. That's where the temple was at.
Okay.
So it had to be another mountain away from that. See, so it had to be another location. What did it say?
Yeah, it's in the Calvary in the dictionary. It says the place where Jesus was crucified near Jerusalem.
Okay, so
representation of the crucifixion.
So they're just saying Calvary then is the same as Golgotha. Huh? Luke 23, 33.
Calvary or Calvarium in Latin is.
Oh, wait, okay. You said in Latin?
Calavera.
For
the skull. Calavera means your skull.
You see why I don't speak Spanish. So now they're showing that the Spanish is saying Colorado, which means places.
You say Calma?
Calavera.
Means the same thing, place of the skull.
Calavera.
I think Calvary is Latin and the other one is Hebrew.
Right.
That sounds right.
I should have learned Spanish little by little and very little at a time. My mouth doesn't form the words that well for me. I can't roll my R's and all that kind of stuff. So I'm a hopeless case for learning Spanish. Now, if I was throwing a whole bunch of environment, I might learn eventually, but.
Gilbert's right.
Huh?
It says from the Latin calavera. The name probably means the shape. I mean, I don't know my
The shape of form. Okay, you have a glass nose again. That's good.
33.
That's fine.
21,
We know
33.
what you mean. We have all struggled with that now.
33.
I want to take my glasses, you'll all go away. So anyhow, you're seeing what we're trying to get. I'm trying to show you is denoting where the Messiah, where Adam died in his conscience. Now that happened. Now after he died, his conscience, see, how long was it before he died physically? 930 years. So 930 minus 1,000 is 70 years. So he's 70 years short of completing 1 day with Yahweh. Because 1 day with Yahweh is 1,000 years, 1,000 years is as 1 day. So he got. Now all the thing I'm saying to you is that all these things got to be culminated or be completed by the Messiah. In other words, he's completing these days that the patriarchs didn't fulfill, making up 1,000 years. That's what I'm saying. Is everybody for me, or somebody got some problems with things? I don't understand what I'm saying. I'm saying that the Messiah, he's fulfilling or completing the days that the patriarchs did not live out to complete the 1,000 years. Meaning this. I'm showing you what I mean so you understand what I'm talking about.
The patriarchs are Adam.
Huh?
You saying the patriarchs?
I didn't hear what you said. What's the matter?
Are you saying?
What's the What did I do?
You sound like you were talking to me at the house.
I didn't hear what you said. I just turned around and
That was
responded.
real loud. You're saying, the time that Adam didn't live a full 1,000 years. He's making up that time. Adam
Right,
died
right, right, right.
930.
If one day with Yahweh is 1,000 years.
Right.
And he lived
Adam lived
the 930 years.
70 years short
That means he's 70 years
of
short.
a day with Yahweh.
Day with Yahweh. So I'm saying the Messiah's got to come in and complete that day.
Right.
70. Okay. 700 part of that day he's got to raise. When he raises from the dead, the 700 part of the day left to be completed. When he raised from the dead, so he's picking up Adam. When Adam died, he's picking him up. See?
That's what you got right there.
Huh?
300 part of the day.
The 300 part of the day. See, you got Messiah being crucified first 1,000. That's first day. Then this is dealing with the cleansing of the sanctuary. That's what this is about.
Mm-hmm.
So many other things goes into cleaning the Messiah. Now he's crucified. That's one day. It's 1,000 years. Friday. Then one day, another day, Saturday. That's another 2,000. Then the 300 part of the day. So Messiah, the prophet, the angel made David know, but the cleansing of the sanctuary would take place in the 2,300 days. So what we have is to see that the Messiah is fulfilling that. When you raise the 300 part of that day, 700 parts he's going to complete, which is going to end up complete the day of
He's going to complete the day for Adam.
Going to complete the day of Adam, right? See, so that will complete that one day, or 1,000 years, or one day. See, now all these things happen. I mean, a lot of things. Messiah says things and does things. If you don't understand the scripture, you won't understand why he's saying the things he's saying. When he went out in the garden, he said, "My hour is come." Why are you saying that for out in the garden for? See, because back here you see Adam was back here in the garden. He was in there for 40 days. So if he's in there 40 days. Oh boy. 1,000 years divided by 24. 24 hours in a day divided into 1,000 will give you 41.66666. So you see then that 40 will be likened to 1 hour. See, like I can look at it when Messiah, when the founder, before the founder passed, he said it won't be long, you'll be falling. Well, see, now that's about 36 years later. See, we haven't finished our yet in Yahweh's time. Not even our yet, because it's supposed to be 40 years. It's only about so that you're seeing now that what we're just dealing with the time of Yahweh and time of man is what you got to reconcile. We reconcile in the time of Yahweh and the time of man. See? So when Adam died, the Messiah is ready to pick him up to finish up the day that he didn't fulfill. So he complete that one day. See? So all the time you find the Messiah doing all this type of thing. All the time he's in the process of fulfilling what's in the scriptures concerning him, and also raising everybody up at the appropriate time. See, I'm going to go back in there. Yes.
And that day symbolizes eternity?
The 1,000 is equal to 1 day, or 1,000 is equal to eternity, right?
So showing you that he just took him back into eternity.
Right. Yeah. I'm trying to get the Adam that had died, was buried. He was a prisoner to the grave. He was a prisoner to death. I'm trying to get him out of there. And I can't get him out into the Messiah. He comes in, he got to go to the place he was. See? So when you say when the Messiah, he gave up the ghost, that's what in the 19th chapter of John, he said he gave up the ghost. See? When he gave up the ghost, he was on the cross, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
See? Now, that didn't go to the grave. I'm talking about the ghost. The spirit didn't go to the grave.
Yeah, that's right.
They took his body up and took it to the grave.
Right.
See? So now the spirit, it went and preached to the captives in distress. Talking about no Adam all the way down, he's bringing to preach to all of them. So as you see he's going there to preach to all of them. So when he gives us the ghost, he's going to preach to the captives in distress. See? What do you mean? What are you talking about? See, when Yahweh sent Moses and Aaron back down into Egypt, they went to deliver the children of Israel, which were captive. They were in distress. They didn't know how to get out of Egypt. So you got to see back here, they being delivered out of here. So you got to see the Messiah. He got to come and go to preach them. So when he raised, they're going to raise up after his resurrection. So he's completing that day. He's fulfilling that. That's right. He's raised that man that died. Talk about Adam. What I'm trying to get across to you is that his resurrection is what gives you and me hope of eternal life. But until you see that he had to go back and redeem all of them all back before that time, bring them up after he raised from the dead, then you can see then you have the hope of believing that he did do that, and you then have the chance of having immortality through his believing or having faith in him. That's all I'm trying to get you to see. The importance of coming to class is to know that, understand that, whereby you can now stand. If you don't understand that, then you're going to be suffering the wrath of Yahweh. See, what we're down here, you at a point in time should come to know how you stand in the eyesight of Yahweh. Yahweh has blessed you and me with an understanding of the mysteries of Yahweh. That's what took place on the day of Pentecost. The mystery, Yahweh gave us made it possible for you and I to know, and that's his mercy toward us. And in understanding that, then you ought to be able, you ought to see I'll say it this way. Yahweh required Israel to do what 3 times a year? Gather together before Yahweh. 3 times a year. See? Now, we don't have no special day now. Now he wants you to appear before him all the time. It's a 24-hour operation now, every day. So now your commitment now once you have seen the Messiah had the power to raise from the dead, and you believe in that, then you are witness then to anybody else that you believe that. How you make that known? Coming to class.
Right.
Your testimony to the world outside, you believe what's being taught in this school. So coming to class is your way of announcing to the world that what's taught in here is important for you to come down and know. So you coming to class is then your testimony or your witness that the truth is being taught here to the world. See? And it should be a conviction within you that you should know. See, that Yahweh showed mercy on you, that you know that, you understand that. See? So when those things are what we're endeavoring to get across your heart and mind, is to understand why you come to class, why it's so important to know. When you understand this mission, the Messiah, see, they just don't know. See, that book I had you read out of. See, they go through lots of stories in the Bible where they don't know and they're not sure.
Kind of mystery.
Huh?
Mystery.
Yeah, mystery of the Bible.
Inside the mysteries of the Bible.
Mysteries.
They don't know. They just propose it. They read. They highlight things that they read about in the Bible, but they don't understand what it is. Freedom to know this is a mystery. We don't know more about it. This is all a mystery. So they have no vision, right? That's why I'm saying you're blessed by it. Oh, here, this passage I wanted you. I just saw. They go about Noah's Ark and we gotta look at the Garden of Eden. An apple and a snake. Because that's what they read about in the Bible. So they literally think of a snake, they literally think of an apple, and they also say they don't think they're not sure it was an apple. It wasn't. I mean, we know that, but they don't know. So you got all that kind of skepticism in the world. See, and just by seeing the things that they say about things, you have a better appreciation of what you do know.
Mm.
That's what I'm trying to get across. That you and I are coming to classes to show the world that something down here is more important, more enlightened than something out in the world. See, okay. See, yes.
What enabled Adam to resurrect, and what enables us to resurrect, and how many resurrections are there? Because we're talking about the resurrection, which is supposed to be celebrated today, which the world doesn't really understand.
Well, what they're doing is they're reflecting, remembering the Messiah resurrected. That's what they're doing on that. Your and my resurrection is when we accept the blood of the Messiah. That's our resurrection. When we accept the blood of the Messiah, He gives you understanding of why the things He did. When you understand those things, that's your illumination. That's your understanding of the message of Yahweh. That's your conviction and your belief then is in the Messiah. So when we're talking about, you mentioned about Adam. Paul writes there in Timothy that their faith in having offspring.
1 Timothy 2:14.
Yeah, 1 Timothy 2:14, right?
Mhm.
Is where you have, see, when Yahweh gave out the sentences for their disobedience back here, talking about it to Satan and to Eve and to Adam. See, he said that but Paul writes says she's going to be saved in childbirth. See, well, they couldn't have any kids without him being involved. So it means he had to have faith in it. But at the same time, the promise he made to Eve was that in her seed,
She would be saved.
she would be saved in childbirth. Which then would show that they have faith. They look for a redeemer. See, and not only that you have. See now, the book does not record all of their children that Adam had. It said he had sons and daughters. See, and the only thing you know, you read about Cain and him having a son, and you read about Abel, not Abel, but about Seth, and he had sons. That's what you got recorded. But all of them you have, when they give about the age, they tell them they had sons and daughters. How many of them you don't know. But what I'm getting back to what Charles was asking about them having faith. They had faith in that through their loins, Redeemer was going to come. So when the Messiah comes on, he's then the fulfillment of their conviction that a Redeemer would come. And when the Messiah went to the grave, see, and preached to them, see, that he was the death, the burial, and in other words, the gospel was about him.
So it's the gospel.
The gospel is what delivered.
So
See?
you preach the gospel to them.
Right. That's what them that believe in the Messiah, that's the one's going to be saved. Resurrection is based upon you believing in the Messiah, what he did for you and me. It's by his blood that we are saved. See, the blood he shed, that would atone for all men from Adam all the way down, and all men from Messiah all the way down to the last man, or the revelation of Yahshua Messiah. It covers all of them. So you can't put anybody else in place of it. It does not work. Will not work. The purpose of Yahweh, purpose within himself. He's always stated back here in his purpose that you're going to give everything in heaven and earth in his Son. That's already been established back there in eternity.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't change it now.
Right.
See? So that it's all predicated or wrapped around his Son. See? Yahweh then made the whole creation revolve around that Son physically, just to show that everything is wrapped around or revolved around his Son. Because this is a natural, the Son in the heavens is a natural point to a spiritual. See, and if you see that all the things are, the scientists are really baffled at how the relationship between the sun and the earth is so closely related. They know that it's important. Do away with the moon, you got problems. See, have the Earth 2 miles closer to the sun or 2 miles further away from the sun, you got problems.
Mhm.
See, you always got it in a perfect balance. This is showing the accuracy of Yahweh. He's got everything under control. And when you understand, you're able to be able to appreciate that. And that's what you, I think about all the things that we read about. I'm talking about we confronted in the Bible about. We have been so enlightened about things that people have just scratching their head. They can't understand what about. They have a. Why didn't he say something for? Why didn't he speak up for himself? He could have speak up for himself. See, he could have zapped him out if he wanted to do. That's what I'm talking about the way men look at things. See, not realizing that all this. Here he's on the cross. You be the son. You be a.
If you be the son.
If you be the son, man, come off the cross.
Save yourself.
See, save yourself. See, couldn't do that. But the reason he came in the world was to die,
Right.
is that you and I might live.
Right.
So he couldn't do that. See, but they don't understand the importance of what's going on. See, then the people they ridicule people about things they don't understand about, and that's why that's why he has to handle himself the way he did. He couldn't say anything to his defense. He could say a lot of things in his own defense, but he couldn't do it because you got to go to where it's written of him. So once you understand he's got to fulfill things, you'll able to appreciate why the things were done, why the things were said in his lifetime. See? Now, they're concerned about the writers. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. How come they didn't write more consistently between them? How come they were more confirming each other more than they are? They are just they're looking at it from a different perspective, mostly. See? Now Matthew, he was a scribe. He was a tax collector. See? And the Jews didn't like him being a tax collector. So they had a issue with him being that. But he was smart enough. He's smart, and now he's writing down the events that took place that he was an eyewitness to, that he's writing about to the people. See, as a disciple and being an eyewitness. See, and they became apostles on the day of Pentecost. See, now Mark, he was a companion to Peter. So now you got to understand that by Peter, by him being an actual witness to the Messiah, his testimony to his students, I'll say it that way. Mark is writing based on what he heard from Peter. See, so you got to keep all that in mind. See, then Luke, he's a convert unto Paul. See, now he was a lawyer, he was a doctor by profession.
He investigated.
And then he investigated. And he wrote down very carefully what he found out. When he went to the people he testified or people he witnessed, like a reporter, when I told this one, what they said, and he compiled them in a writing or in a book. And that's what he wrote. But now we got to put all that together. See? Now you read there.
How about John?
Now John, what I like about him so much is he was a disciple of John the Baptist first. So you hear what John said about the Messiah that would come. So he's listening to that all the time. So he's listening that John is talking about somebody coming after him is greater than he was. See? Then when John baptized the Messiah and they would point him out, then he pointed him out as it being the Lamb of Yahweh. See? Then they start following the Messiah. See? And that's how they were convinced that he was the Savior by his testimony, by John the Baptist's testimony about the Messiah. See? And I read an article this recent about how they can't understand why John didn't know the Messiah, didn't understand who he was and that type of thing, by the testimony he gives in 1 John, in the first chapter of John.
John the Baptist.
John the Baptist, right?
No.
Didn't know about his cousin. See, but when we Yahweh, see, what we fail to understand is that Yahweh has a prescribed way to make things known to mankind in His own order. You and I, we had to wait in our order to receive what He's going to give us. See, we can't run ahead of it.
Right.
When we do, we make a mess every time.
All the time.
See, so you got to sit there and be patient and let Yahweh. See now, when I'm coming along in class under Dr. Kim, see, you come in 1 year, but learn more of what we learned in about 15 years under Dr. Kim. Because he was just little bit by little bit going into the mysteries of Yahweh over and over. The last 10, 15 years, he was really went into a lot more depth than things he did before that time. Because he's trying to get people to believe in the testimony he had to give of what he saw. Now, when you understand these things, you're able to appreciate it. See, now what's happened in the world? See, mankind Yahweh just fixed him up just the way he did. Have a man look straight at truth and then deny it. That's powerful, folks. Look straight at truth and then deny it. See, after all the witnesses have been given and proof has been given to them, then say no, that don't mean nothing. See, now that's really, I find it very hard to understand a man's mind going that way, but it's Yahweh can do it. And I say, Yahweh, you don't have me under that delusion. See, that's all I really praise about the power of Yahweh to cause one man to see and another man not to see.
Right.
And be in the same situation, same building. Hear the same thing, one see and one don't see. But that's where Yahweh set it up. See? Yes?
When you say it like that, it almost sounds unjust on the part of Yahweh. But Yahweh says, as Paul says over there, because they received not the love of the truth, then Yahweh, and you know how Dr. Kinley would stress that?
Yeah, right.
He said, now Yahweh has given you the ability to know and to discern, and if you don't use what Yahweh gave you, then He has a right to send you to the lake.
Right.
And Paul puts it, because they received not the love of the truth. It's out there. He's made a way. Then Yahweh will send them a strong delusion. Not the devil, but Yahweh, but it's because they wouldn't receive the truth. Right. So sometimes it seems like the way that it can be expressed make it seem like it's unfair on the part of Yahweh, but it's not, because He's given us a way to know.
Now what she said in summation is, in understanding this great mystery we're talking about, you got to put all the things together. Understand what's going on in timelines, all those things. That's going to make the difference in understanding the truth from a lie. And a lot of times people don't do that. They get on, hang on one thing and miss up something else, and it doesn't tie together, so they just say all this, nothing to it. But when you understand there's a purpose and understand what the purpose is and how it functions, you can't make that kind of mistake. See? And a lot of times we don't. A lot of times, even on my part, sometimes don't complete the thought as we should complete it, so everybody be able to understand it the same way. See, it's a struggle, folks. That's why you got to keep coming to class so you be benefited by it. Now, I have no problem with somebody questioning about something I might have said past or future. See, let's come together and let's understand what it's about. Yahweh has given us tools which we didn't have before. We had no knowledge of law, and probably have no knowledge of the dispensation of the age. We had no knowledge of the tabernacle. We didn't have nothing, folks. We was out there, a lost ball in high weeds. Couldn't even see the sky. And yet, you talk to any of us, we thought we were the greatest thing on earth. Didn't know nothing. See? But now when Yahweh sets you down, and you sit down and be patient, and He feeds you, you receive what He gives you, it'll be beneficial to you. But if you don't do that, see, then Yahweh, He's a just hell, folks. Very just. See? Because you think about something, our justice would be very, very short. A lot of people would not. See? They would just go. They would just walk off and you do for yourself. See. So and I think about it. We come down here now. I'm gonna say it, even though I might get in trouble saying it, but I'm gonna say it anyhow. I sit around in class on Fridays nights. We have 10, 15 people here. Yeah, if that, that's true. I'm trying to make it put on the good side. See? Now y'all was only requiring to come to class. You didn't tell you come to class and give all the money you got in the world to us, and all. He's not requiring all that. Just come to class, be there, learn all you can while you're there. See? Don't come to class and be there, be here, and after class I'm gonna go party. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. And do this. No. That'll be there when you get out of class. See, but be here. See, remember Yahweh told Israel to come to be gathered around the mountain. It'll be there. Now, a lot of people gathered around the mountain. They didn't hear what was said to them. See? I looked last night on channel 7. Had the
Ten Commandments.
The Ten Commandments. Yeah, and I just realized that so many things in there I didn't forgot was presented in that movie. And I've gone places and given lectures, and people question me based upon that movie. See? And you got to tell them it's all wrong. You know, they got it all wrong. See? Got Joshua meeting Moses out there at the mountain.
Yeah.
See?
Burning bush.
Before the burning bush.
Yeah.
Then he's talking about he knew him before he left Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't even in Egypt when Moses left Egypt. I mean, it's little things, and there's little things you see that's wrong in what they presented to you. But a person sees the movie, it gets embedded in their mind. They think that's the gospel truth. And you go back and look at the scripture does not support what they're talking about. Timelines are all wrong. See? You got Joshua running around with a girlfriend.
Yeah, he does. Lover boy. Smearing the blood.
It's sad. It's sad. And you know, Hollywood, a lot of things they could do make a lot of things a lot better. A lot of things that we could learn from. The TV is a good instrument when used correctly. I'll put it that way. Because it could be very, very beneficial to everybody if they would promote things on TV that gives a person an understanding of things. Make them understand things and not just be something to please some fraction of people, something like that. They should be able to see that. I often think about it. The things that we have learned in this school. If some of these men of renown in the world today just had a glimpse of what we knew, see, a lot of things would change. But they weren't here. You know, it's so stuck upon themselves, they wouldn't hear it anyhow. Yes?
Wasn't there a panel of ministers that were chosen
Oh, yeah.
to be as advisors to help
150
direct and produce?
150 of them.
And then
Right.
did Dr. Kinley apply or something to?
Dr. Gross sent a letter to them to ask them to be on the panel.
And they rejected?
They rejected. They rejected. Dr. Gross sent a letter to ask them to be on the panel of the board that's going to.
So these were theologians, basically, that
Most
were
theologians, right.
put in all this.
I did have a copy of the
False.
book. I did have a copy of the book that had the list of all the ministers on that were in the council to help describe what they put in the movie. And so many things. I mean, they got up there down in Egypt and got a god that's up in Canaan land.
Yeah. Mullet.
Moloch.
Mm-hmm.
And they, you know, there's just so many things just wrong. God, Moses going back down in Egypt after Moses died in the Red Sea. He didn't
Pharaoh.
go back down in
Pharaoh.
Pharaoh. Pharaoh died in the Red Sea.
Yeah, they
See, the book tells you that. See, there's so many little things in that movie is and I think
is false.
false, very, very much so. I didn't see the whole thing, but I saw most of it.
They had Pharaoh declaring the death decree first.
Well, he said that'd be by his own word, so that's what he told him. So Pharaoh wanted to kill all the Egyptians firstborn.
The Israelites.
Israelites firstborn, right, Israelites firstborn. Yeah. And Moses said when he left him, said, the next plague will be based on what you say. And then the Pharaoh was saying, kill the firstborn of the Israelites. See, which his great-father said did with him. See, because that's what happened with Moses. Moses was born during the death decree. See, because they were trying to get rid of all the male children at that time. See, so when Pharaoh gives that commandment out to have his men go out and kill all the Hebrew babies, see, by him giving that decree, see, what happened was that Moses said it's going to be, the Pharaoh was going to make the last decree. The way they had it in the movie was that when he gave the decree to slay all the Israelite babies, it actually meant all the Egyptian babies were going to be born, firstborn were going to be killed.
Yeah, but that didn't happen.
No. Well,
As far as Pharaoh.
No.
Declaring the death decree.
No.
It wasn't Pharaoh. It was
He
Yahweh.
could. No. They made that up and
Right.
so that what he said came back on him. His firstborn was killed. And then he takes him. Well, it goes on and on and on. I tell you that I just didn't realize so many blunders were made in him as I looked at him last night and just kept on and said, "Where's that at? Where's that at?" It's become very, very
It's just fictional.
fictional, yeah.
It's fictional.
And I think I even got a copy of it in the house. I had to go get it out now and look at it again. Now I got my own copy of it. I go back and look at it just for my own self to see the problem and the situation they have in it. Now, and a lot of things would be done. I mean, think about Pharaoh standing up there and saying, Yahweh, they think that Yahweh, that Moses, God, led them to the Red Sea where they didn't have a way out. So it made it easy prey for them to go and take them. That's what they said in the movie. Pharaoh was saying that the God of the Hebrews had led them to the Red Sea where there was no way for them to get out. So they're going to be easy prey for them to go and take them. See? But not knowing that Yahweh, he caused the east wind to come through and divide the Red Sea, and they went through on dry land. Well, look at when they show the Pharaoh and his host going into the Red Sea to go get them. See, Pharaoh standing on the shore, watching his army go and get them,
Drowned. Mm-hmm.
And then when they seen the water come back on top of him, he was just baffled. He threw his sword down and everything. He goes back down to Egypt and that type of thing.
36 feet.
There's something else, folks. There's something else. To see the distortion, but people have that in their mind now. And you try to tell them that that's wrong, you got to go to the book and show them it's wrong, and they still may not believe it. See, people are hard-headed. And we're striving hard to try to get you to see the importance of coming to that. Now, I'm trying to get Moses, not Moses, but Adam, he went to the grave. And he died. He was captive to the grave until the Messiah raised from the dead. When the Messiah raised from the dead, many of the sons of Steph, they rose after his resurrection, went into Jerusalem. See? So when that happens, then, now, Charles asked a question about the resurrection. There's number one resurrection.
That's right.
One. Many of them saw this transpire back here. But then after that, you got those that believe in the Messiah. After that, they are a part of that same resurrection. See? I had you get Revelation 20th chapter. I want to get that one more time just to show you. Because I'm trying to get this angel that came down and understand what transpired with them thereafter there.
Revelations 20:1.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw an angel come down from heaven.
And he said, I saw an angel come down from heaven. Now look at it being this angel came down, rolled the stone away, and let and the Messiah raised from the dead. See?
And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit, and a great chain in his hand.
Now, when that happened, the soldiers that were guarding the Messiah, guarding the grave, so they fell as dead men. See, they got up and went back to the Sanhedrin council and said he raised as he said he did. They bribed him to tell him, no, you tell them that the disciples came and stole his body while you slept. And they said, well, if we say that, then we're going to be on the line for our jobs now. So we'll pay them off too. We have to keep it. We don't want the word to get out that he raised from the dead. See? Okay, read on now.
And he laid hold on the dragon,
Mhm.
that old serpent.
Now he
which
laid
is-
hold on the dragon, that old serpent. Now what was the dragon? See?
Satan.
The old serpent. It was Satan. What part did he have?
Power of death.
Yeah, what part did Satan have?
Deceit.
He caused death. Part of death. Now the only way you do it, overcome death. When you overcome death, then you destroy death, hell, and the grave. So when the Messiah raised from the dead, he overcome death, hell, and the grave. So therefore, he became King of kings and ruler of rulers. Right.
Trying to get Lord out of it.
Can't get it. Would work. So read on a bit more.
And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent,
Uh-huh.
which is the devil,
Which is the devil
and Satan,
and Satan.
and bound him 1,000 years,
Bound him 1,000 years.
and cast him into the bottomless pit,
Mhm.
and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more,
Mhm.
till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that he must be
Now, here's
loosed
the
a little
Messiah.
season.
Okay, now remember, the angel come down, see, and then overcome Satan, overcome the devil, which had people bound in the grave. So when the Messiah raised from the dead, and those that believe him, they raised with him, went into Jerusalem. See, now, if you look at this here, the day when the Messiah raised from the dead, the 300 part of that day, he's raising from the dead. The rest of the day, he's going to be alive, appearing to the disciples, appearing to Mary and all them during that day. Then that's completing that one day. Okay, read on a bit more.
And I saw thrones, and they that sat upon them,
Okay,
and judgment was given unto them.
did you talk about the rest of the dead? Or is that down
Oh,
further?
that's probably further down.
Down further down.
Yeah. It's the next verse after
Go
this one.
ahead and read down. Read on.
And I saw thrones, and they that sat upon
I
them,
saw thrones and them that sat upon them.
and judgment was given unto them.
Judgment was given unto the Messiah. So he told the disciples, so they were going to judge angels. See, and so now here they are given thrones, and they were given judgment. Okay, read.
And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded
I saw the souls of them that were beheaded
for the witness of
for the
Yahshua,
witness of Yahshua.
and for the word of Yahweh.
Uh-huh. So all those that preached Yahshua's Messiah, they were souls of, and they got one way before that died believing the Messiah would come. They were killed and slain, see, for the word of Yahweh. See, read on.
And which had not worshipped the beast,
Which had not worshipped the beast, read.
neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their forehead or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with Yahshua 1,000 years.
They lived and reigned with him 1,000 years. Now that same day, completing that day, they lived and reigned with him 1,000 years, read.
But the rest of the
They
dead,
said that the rest of the dead. Now who
lived-
was still dead? All the people that were alive at the time, but the disciples, they were dead. They hadn't come to understanding. So they were dead. See, so I'm trying to show you, these are ones that rose at his resurrection. That's part of the resurrection. Now the ones that were the rest of the dead, read what happened.
but the rest of the dead lived not again until the 1,000 years were
So
finished.
his day was completed. Read.
This is the first resurrection.
This is the first resurrection. See, read on.
Blessed and holy is he that hath part in the first
He
resurrection.
had part in the first resurrection.
On such,
So now this is the first resurrection. On such,
the second death hath
the
no
second
power.
death had no power. Well, what's the
Does-
second death?
Doesn't say no second resurrection.
The lake.
One resurrection and two deaths.
Doesn't
One
say no.
resurrection.
Doesn't
two
say no
deaths.
second resurrection.
You got a death
Right,
here.
right.
This is a death here. Then the death not believing the gospel, that's the second death. And and the combination gonna be in the lake. So not knowing, that's where gonna get you in the lake. So you gotta come to class to learn how not to be deceived by the mystery of iniquity. Because that's his job, is to keep you in darkness, may you not be aware, not give you understanding of the mystery of God. That's his job. See? But you have a way to overcome that by the knowledge of the truth, And that's what we've been blessed with, is by seeing that the Messiah did come in, he did fulfill the law and the prophecy. And when you see that done, then you're convicted, you believe, and then that's what's going to cause you to believe the report, accept the Messiah's blood, and be able to give glory unto him. That's what we've done. Testify that he overcome death, overcome the grave, and he's alive and around.
14?
Revelation
118.
Oh, you want to-
Revelation 118.
Revelations 1:18. I am he that liveth.
Now this is who's talking to John.
Messiah.
The Messiah is talking to John. I am he that liveth.
And was dead.
I was dead.
And behold, I am alive.
I'm alive.
Forevermore.
Forevermore.
And have the keys.
And I have the keys.
Of Sheol and of death.
Of Sheol and death.
Or hell.
Now, you look in the scripture, you find that the Messiah talks about the Pharisees and scribes. They had the keys, but they wouldn't let anybody in. I put it that way.
Luke 11.
See, 11:52, right? But now what I'm trying to get at now, he said he had the keys. He didn't say the Pope had the keys.
That's right.
He said he had the keys. Well, what did he do with the keys? He gave it to his disciples on the day of Pentecost. The knowledge of the law and the prophets being interpreted by the Holy Spirit. So when you got that,
Right.
when you have that, you ever understand the mystery of Yahweh, and by understanding, that's what delivers you from the lake of fire. Bring all the way down there. So, and that's also delivers you from the wrath of Yahweh. See, if you looked at that tornado they had in Texas this past Tuesday,
He used to.
see, and you seen them trailer cars up in the air, see, 300 or 400 feet up in the air, coming back down on top of trailer cars and just tearing. That's a wrath of Yahweh demonstrated.
Yeah, diesel.
That's a power, huh?
A diesel truck.
Yeah, diesel truck. Yeah,
And
flying
a
in the
kid
air.
flying in there like.
See, what do they say? They were 32,000 pounds. Just tossed up in there like a toy.
A toy.
Toy box. Then you come back down and just spat it on. They had a whole lot. I'd like to know how much damage was done. But just that one trailer park. It was bad, really bad. Hope and trust you guys something out what was said. And remember, you got the books up here. We're going to ask you to write your name down, the books you take with you, so we can check it with the list we had. So make sure we get the copies out to everybody, the order. We did have 1 or 2 copies left for in addition for the library to have. So, but we want to try to keep track of ones that ordered. See, and they had a problem with when they send the first box out, they send it out to the post office box. UPS does not deliver to a post office box.
Oh yeah.
So they had them waiting there till they got an address. And after we made a call, I finally got to talk to the lady. She went back there and gave them the address where it's supposed to come to, and it came. So okay, that's how we got here. So we got it.
Back of the purchases of the textbooks? Yes. Okay. So the treasurer will be taking the money, and I'll help with the distribution, or anybody else that wants to help? Let us all stand and be dismissed of doxology. Now to him that is able to keep you from falling, and to present you faultless before the presence of his glory with exceeding joy. To the only wise Elohim, our Savior, through Yahshua Messiah, our Sovereign, belong glory, majesty, dominion, and power, both before all time, now and ever. Let us all say, Amen.